Hi, my name is Lisa and I'm excited to be here. Thanks to all the organizers for putting this together. I'm going to read 4 poems. Smiling with his mouth closed. From the day he was big enough to lose teeth to the day he died, my great uncle posed for pictures with his mouth closed. He never had money to care for rotting teeth, so they each fell down, crumbling houses in decay. One by one they caved in on themselves, cut off from their roots until all that was left was big sky and jagged earth. Finally, at 58, he won a small lottery and bought his first set of teeth, straight white caps, all in a row, saluting his lips, a development of dentures. He had hoped for a picture with his dear wife Stella, but lived only a week through new smiles. In her last act of love, she had him laid out, his mouth wired open, his new neighborhood of teeth rising from the dead. Ghost. I am out of tricks today, no new ways to make you remember who I am to you. You're the mother, I'm the daughter, cajoling words on a swaying rope bridge where a collective memory might hold us in the middle of all this uncertain footing, where illumination of love might shine. All over the world, stars are dying out. Just because there is a crack in everything doesn't always mean the light gets in. You are the very disappearance of light, a person traveling backwards into a tiny pinhole of knowing, down a long tunnel of narrow. To follow you there, I must forget who we've been, get small again, like a child in the dark, shining a flashlight to my face. See, Mama, I'm the ghost. Arm's length. The brother of far away dreams of a horse, a prairie, and a cowboy life, where the only thing that matters is the wide open west, stretching as far as he can handle. The brother of far away works hard, plays rough, has a son in trouble, a wife too sick, and a daughter who has married into a new family. The brother of far away has 10 acres to defend, animals to groom, and a pond that has dried up where even vultures complain nothing's worth hovering for. The brother of far away has a mother and a sister he keeps locked in a box labeled sentimental. Occasionally he opens it. Something flies at his face that he swats at. Later, when he has a beer, the nuisance of it becomes a cup he could drink from, a cradle for his tired face. The brother of far away takes trips to the place he was born, but never lands there, circles around like a small plane coasting to an abandoned airfield, or a canoe drifting to safer ground, summoned by some foghorn at dawn. Shoveling. Mom is on the roof again. Her broom cuts through soft layers of new snow, sweeping the white wetness close to its edge. Bristles push powder up into the blue sky, so it seems like it's snowing all over again, flakes coming together, falling apart, disappearing in different directions. She is tending her own garden, raking life's patterns into the impermanence of now. This is the time for clearing things away, for simplifying life. sort through the debris, the heavy weight of what no longer matters, and find joy in the emptying of the day. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Khaliah, and this poem is entitled Need. I don't worry about hell or handbaskets. Only, how the hell we gonna use these hands to fill our baskets with the bounty that our babes deserve, that they need? Kneading. Hands kneading and molding and rolling out worlds seasoned and salted with immeasurable amounts of devotion. Dough, dense and dusted with the zealous prayers of niggas that ain't yet been born. You know, I ain't worried about tomorrow being sweet. I know it, 'cause I needed it with my hands. Thank you. Hi, my name is Camelia Nocella, and I am reading a piece entitled These for Holding. Holding, molding, making, taking, loving, praying, burnt and blistered, browned, sun-browned, lazy long phalanges like ballerina legs, delicate and dutiful, folding, cleaning, folded, cleansed, herbs cut and cupped and held, holding, molding, making, taking, loving, praying, burnt and blistered, browned, sun-browned, tools that can hold a nigga down. Thank you.
Rescue fatigue. Regret defies known laws of physics. It allows us to travel through time, into the past. But there's always a penalty for disrupting the time continuum. In the case of regret, it compresses the present time, stunting our expansion into whole beings. It's as if our emotions are in a runaway elevator on a free-fall descent, and everyone we meet is a potential rescuer. On the other side of time travel penalties, rewards await those who thrive in the moment. No compression of time, but rather an expansion of awareness that trips the mind into psychedelic contentment. Everyone we meet, a potential god. Next poem, Memory. They'd been married since before the chicken and the egg, long enough to have yellowed mementos in dozens of brown boxes, but they could no longer feign ignorance at the blue-throated warbles where love used to sing. They no longer felt mesmerized by the dance of familiar shadows. Excess towel most likely contributed toward the shortage of mourning doves in their morning musings, but that didn't stop him from loving her, even though she thought him an acquaintance. Everything now was tentative, a tentative arrangement, a tentative conclusion, to be confirmed at a later date, except sometimes, when the aroma of fresh brewed coffee floated through the house, her eyes danced, her smile creased, and he had her back. In those brief espresso moments, he had her back. Next poem. No Justice for Cole House Walker Jr. after the movie Ragtime. He only wanted justice with a firm hand like the tide's unbending timetable, and a judge with a heart as soft as a baby bird. He wasted no time with prayers, for they muddied the waters of hope, and hope itself could be as elusive as dreaming a new ragtime riff. He simply wanted the white man to apologize, make restitution for damage, do the right thing, but he might as well have wished for Teddy Roosevelt to dance at his wedding. Had the wedding even taken place before the funeral of his fiancée, beaten to death, seeking justice for her man. Justice is shady, shadowy, sandy, and gritty. It's squeezed into the back pocket of the preacher, crammed into the holster of the policeman, and splayed on the mean streets of the city. One indignity hurled upon another without proper redress hurts a man's brain, skews his belief in the system. The standoff did not end well for Coalhouse. The law sneered at his black pride, his sense of justice not shared by his oppressors. They shot him on the sidewalk as he surrendered, unarmed. Next poem, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. I'd complain about the vulgar masses, but I seem to be among their numbers. We are the whimpering swamp creatures who put sugar on bristly dewberry to camouflage our own bitter existence, so that we may eat at the table of the righteous and vomit into the vast national discourse. We aspire to acquire reptilian DNA, tweet viral memes, and wave our simplistic flags at militarized sporting events. We wear our vulgarity like bibs at a lobster fest, parading our slobbering selves in front of the criminal elite. We may as well bottle our dignity and bury it under a banyan tree, where it will find a worthy host. No poem can express my ennui with the puerile achievements of a whole class of people whose inflated self-importance is as volatile as the Hindenburg carrying Sean Penn rehearsing a play about the life of Hunter S. Thompson. Next poem, Ghost Busted. To be present at my own funeral as the lone attendee sings dirges to a life lost to good intentions is painful. She did her homework, though, researched me well, as she wails about my urges to make millions, plans I was sure would work if someone had only recognized my brilliance. My outlook was always bright, but my implementation weak. She finishes a long, sad note, wipes an imaginary tear from her cheek, and deposits a handful of dry dirt onto my coffin. As she walks away, she continues a low keening, earning the pay I left her in my will.
Hello, Camelia Nocella here. I'm presenting two poems of works of art that are located here in my home. The first is Tapestry. Buongiorno, grandfather would call to me, his bambino, transfixed the hallway entrance my ancestral womb. The Swiss cuckoo demanded attention to be spent upon its neighboring borders. Two tapestries, travelers from Termo. I, too, in sailor suit coat, would travel into woven cloth, pop the tour guide. Cypress Roman gardens, a floating city of connecting isles, of heritage connected in Abruzzi dreams. Mind, magic travel underscore, with the aria of La Boheme, interrupted by the infamous Italian kiss, a jeweler's finger twisting my cherub cheek. Oh, thick with his fingers that led the guitar strumming. I danced the custom, and as custom, the childhood dance of reverie abandoned. I danced to the custom like the Roman priestess celebrating legacy discovered. The red, white, green sail steer a realistic course on a gondola passing San Marco Square. The journey planned, the primal dance continued 10 months after, barefoot covered in the Italian landscape boot, deep within the classic northern Perilla route. I tarantailed down the Appian Way All roads lead to my genealogy. I, a Sistine Sybil, seer of past Italian frescoes, dined Da Vinci's supper. Grandpap served Michelangelo as bread. Sorrento serene, hydrofoil to calm Capri. I flourish in fuchsia garden beds, Augustan Caesar's crown camellias. Down the Canal Grande on the Rialto boardwalk, memories swirl. Summer Venezia escapes the Valantic shore. Grandpop teaching tiny conch ears waterway bliss. A swimmer now in today's tide. Ponte Vecchio, link to link the D'Antonio chain. You gave me the jeweler's eyepiece, aesthetics, study of gems, material wealth, the flaw. And lost in love in Verona, literature too, thy Romeo. Milano scales from the Scalo Tidro leap home, string songs, cara mia fingers, Grandpa's Italian lullaby, his tapestry asleep in my custodial care. Grazie, grandfather, I sip your Tuscan wine, art song, nature's essence knits into my lifeline. Salute! My second poem is of Veronica Gledhill's painting entitled Into the Blues. So is the title of my poem. Into the Blues. I am deep, deep in the desolating, depressing blues. Blackness of pain oozes around me. Head, face out of joint with distorted truth that weighs my eyelids down, way, way down. I want to sleep this time, this COVID time away. I want to sleep this time, this COVID time away. Move to the turquoise light, let it drip over my complexion as my spirit rises to meet the cobalt heavens, fade black to bright blue hues, reaching freedom to float anew.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Mad Poets Festival, virtually this year. It's good to be together in any capacity, especially when there's poetry involved. So I have 3 poems for you today. The first is pretty timely, written for the pandemic, and it will be featured in the Deplorables anthology that's going to be released on Election Day by Amy Barone and a bunch of other people in New York. Quarantine gardening. We're planting tulips, he digs the holes, I drop in the plants. We're alone, together, outside. Neighbors walk past, suddenly friendly during these quarantined days. The dog sits under the shade of a maple tree, his back legs splay behind him as the wind lifts the soft feathers of his furry ears. I feel the soft dirt through my gloves, smell the loamy earth, and think to myself that I'm happy, or at least what counts for happiness these days. And for now, that's all I can ask for. Thank you. Next poem is called Skittles, and it's for Trayvon Martin. Skittles. I think of him when I'm in the candy aisle at the grocery store. Whenever I see those bright red bags with the word Skittles emblazoned in loopy white font. A bag of candy looks nothing like a gun or a knife, but when you're looking just for color, I guess it's easy to see things that aren't there. On that rainy Florida night, did the bag of Skittles open, sending brightly colored candies all over the ground, a rainbow falling from a 17-year-old boy's hand, contrasting with his dark brown blood spilled on the pavement. And lastly, this is Eggplant, and this is for my nonna. This is in my book, Conversations Unfinished. Eggplant. Nature's sensuality lives in the eggplant, whose fluid curves remind me of my own. I noticed this while preparing melanzana alla parmigiana in the fading fall twilight. I gently peel away their aubergine skin, as thin as a chemise. I drop them in the oil with a dinner fork, where they dance, a tarantella of fear and desire. The heat from the flame frizzes my hair, and I think about my grandmother and the generations of other Italian women frying eggplant for Sunday dinner. We share the same stance, the same wide hips, the same recipes. We, who take ourselves away from everyday concerns to learn the secrets of the eggplant. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the festival.